changing, always rearranging, always rearranging, always rearranging. That is constantly changing, always rearranging, always rearranging, always rearranging.
Hello? Hello? Is this thing on? Ladies and gentlemen, it's Due Process League time. Welcome, and we have a great matchup set for you today. I'm your host, Byakko. I'm here with Addax. Addax, say hello.
Hello, everybody. I'll be your color caster for today.
So today we're bringing you a matchup between Aric Aardvarks and DarkLight Studios. If the names on the screen have not given that away at this time, should be a fun setup. These teams unfortunately, have not had the best season, but they're still going to put on a great show for you today. They're playing for glory, as we all are, on this inaugural season of Due Process League. So we are just waiting for teams to get organized here. Had DarkLight Studios have a member come in just a little bit late, but they do have their fifth, and we will be underway shortly.
Yeah, it looks like it. Both these teams, they have had a rough start so far, but they're going to be fighting for their final positions with this. And I would say, if they can put up a show for us, I would love today. It's going to be a good day.
Yeah, definitely just a bit of bad luck on their part. I mean, these are very skilled players.
Yeah.
We've seen what they can do. Both teams are 0-3, and that's not to say anything bad about them. It's that they have, as we said, very skilled players throughout this entire league. And, sometimes when you're just getting stuck playing against some of the top teams, again and again, it can maybe skew things just a little bit. I've played against members before, and they definitely have what it takes to be, quality players. So.
Yeah, granted, some teams did sign up late for the first season, but we have almost 30 teams trying to get into League. And for Aardvarks and DarkLight Studios to both be in the first season, I would say that's an achievement for them. They can put that on their portfolio. They can say, hey, we played here, we have the experience, and we can prove that we're going to be good next season. And we might see them do do exactly that. So...
very much, and it's all for fun right now. There's no prizes or anything like that. It's bragging rights that all these teams get to lay claim to this season. But on that note, it will be playoffs coming up shortly, and once that's completed, we will be looking into that season 2 of Due Process League. Not too terribly far out from now, so that'll be fun to see this evolve and have more teams interested in getting to play and show off their capabilities in this game. So at this time, we are just waiting. We are just waiting for this match to queue up, and we will be underway. But go ahead, Addax.
Yeah, I was gonna say both these teams are definitely capable here. There has to be a winner. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's not going to be any ties here. It's best of 9. So first team to 5 wins, and we're gonna have 3 games in this series, best of 3, just like every other match in the league so far. There have been some discussions about playoffs and possible best of 5s, but as of this time, staff's still discussing that, and we'll see how it ends up. But this is the last match before our playoffs begin.
And it looks like Aardvarks unfortunately had their match queue sniped by another team, so they're going to drop out and get re-queued up for that here in a moment. Just those fun little delays. And again, this is a fun thing that we're looking forward to is as due process evolves and gets its improvements, competitive play in this game is very much going to be able to take off to a higher standard, and I'm looking forward to that.
I'm definitely looking forward to it too. A lot of these teams have definitely set the pace for other teams. I would say they wanna push the meta. They want to show other teams, hey, we're in charge here, and you're gonna have to catch up to us. And we've definitely seen that from some of the top teams like Fluff and Flatline, to say the least. But we've also seen some major upsets, like we saw LCG the other day. We see Guacamole before them. There's been a good bit of upsets, and I think all of these teams, while they are kind of close right now, there are one or two that definitely stand out.
Definitely. And this is when you know that you have, a healthy environment when basically any team has the chance to beat any other team on certain days. We go in and we think, okay, this team's got it nailed down. And, a few lucky rounds maybe, and just really good gameplay and practice coming out from one of the teams can, change the game around. So we are getting things underway here. It looks like they have queued up, and here we go. It is going to be Aric Aardvarks versus DarkLight Studios. Set 1.
Let's get right into it.
Map 1.
So before we get into it, do you have any predictions here? Do you want to go with the Aardvarks, or are you sticking with the studios?
I'm split down the middle on this. I'm expecting 2-1. I don't know which team it's going to go to. I'm expecting 5-3, 5-4 sets. I'm not expecting a stomp here at all. And again, as I said before, just because these teams are both winless does not mean that they are bad players at all. Like we've seen what they are capable of, and they're definitely, very skilled, competent players. So
I'd agree, but we are on C-Store for the first map here. It is Neptune Eater. Oh, should have named that the Planet Eater. We are going to be here on a large storefront map. There is going to be a shutter rotate, but we haven't seen many teams utilize that in either map that has that sort of mid-shutter rotate, which is kind of an interesting concept. We are going to see these two lanes again. We're going to see the middle storefront, and then we'll see the right arcade lane, as well as the left side storage lane. So those are always long-range options if, say, DLS wants to go in for something like, hey, maybe let's bring Black Tars, and then we can shoot out Freezer and just hold sight from there. Or if they are opting for close range, they can just push through Office or Shed if they'd like to keep their shotguns and AP-25s trained on the enemy. In this case, it looks like DLS is going for an Office play. They have marked the green door, and Aardvarks seems ready for this. They have the barb set up in storage on that teller door as well as on that office to bathroom door. I would say slightly predictable positions, but we'll see if DLS catches on to it. Hopefully they bring an A to clear this out. Otherwise, we might see some shotguns on the side of Aardvarks blasting into DLS's forces.
Yeah, we'll see how this plays out here in a moment. It looks like it will be that split setup that a lot of teams like to go for, a possible attack onto Power Box. But they got to be careful here. Vuff and Buzzquick sitting in bathroom. They can play spoiler to any plan here, whether it is Office or Freezer that gets entered through. And then we've got Lone Wolf and Real Elsewhere down on the bottom side. They're going to have their work cut out for them. So there goes the breach. A little bit of spam. Pretty standard entry. Joe's going to be on her way in to Freezer. She's going to be facing off an arcade. But here comes the top side push. Already Dead Not Sleeping taken out by Enigmatic, so this is a solid entry. There goes the lighting. So a lot of blindness now on the side of the defenders. They're going to have to work it out for them. Buzzquick goes down. Buff is now pinned in bathroom. So it's a 3v5. I'm sorry, 3v4 as Real Elsewhere get a kill. Now Korgs goes down. So that's very, very good now for the defending side. They've got 3 members up against 3 attackers. Let's see what they can do. There's going to be a little bit of a reset here, it seems, as Enigmatico's creeping around towards bathroom. He's going to look for a frag, see if he can find it over on the Vuff. Walks through. Oh, no. Vuff just in the perfect angle takes him down. Warmy and Cloud, now the 2 members left alive for DLS. They're going to have to figure out what they want to do. They know where Vuff is. Vuff is kind of cornered here. He goes some flashbangs and frags towards that corner. And it's just that barbed wire holding them out. Cloud and Warmy not able to do a whole lot, and we're going to see Lone Wolf making a rotate down to the bottom side, and there goes Vuv. Vuv is down, evens things up 2-2, and we do have one member like on super low health. I believe that is Real Elsewhere is just one hit will do him in. So we'll see if he can do some damage here before going down, and here comes that push, and there's the molly. Perfect molly, spam through the windows, and time is running out now. It's becoming a factor. About 15 seconds left to get on that defuse, and they have not touched the bomb yet at all. Warmy, shotgun, coming in, close range. Oh no, the molly takes... Cloud walks through the molly and can't do anything, and then Warmy is left all by his lonesome Elsewhere, and just brilliant gameplay there from Lone Wolf and Elsewhere at the end. They backed up, they gave him room, they made him play the time, and it came out in their favor. 1 up for Aardvarks.
Yeah, that was good on Aardvarks. We saw I can't speak, excuse me. Enigmatic get the first 2 kills of this series, but after that we saw 2 trades from Real Elsewhere, and because of that, DLS really didn't have anywhere to go. We did see a push on the right side of the map, but if all of DLS went there, then Aardvarks would have just been given sight as well as teller controls back. So what they decided to do is they wrapped around the top side, they went through that storage position, and they took tellers, and they basically forced Aardvarks to play in a weird position. But I guess there was some sort of miscommunication there, or just they didn't double team up on Aardvarks, because Aardvarks ended up clutching it up. And like you said, Cloud going down to that Molotov, those Molotovs are having a small issue now where it might start to fade, but then it comes back for the rest of the duration. So there might have been a visual bug there. It might have been gone on Cloud's screen, I'm assuming, because that is a pretty common occurrence. But I'm surprised Aardvarks clawed it back from a desperate start. Now on to Kill House. It is going to be Invictus Fist. This is a pretty common one that we've actually seen in League so far. Some of the common things are to wall charge South Garage and immediately go into right side lockers, or some teams just opt to pressure Kitchen from Garage and Red Door and force all the players into lockers. We have seen 1 or 2 teams attempt to hold Training and Office on the defending side, which has worked out in favor of one team. But in terms of just lurking, not a lot of teams are very confident. They tend to stick to the site, so we might see the auto shotgun come out here for Aardvarks, unless they're feeling a little bit spicy, to say the least. So DLS down 1 round, but they definitely have shown that they have the fragging potential to entry this up. And the barbed wires are going to be placed on Kitchen and on this courtyard locker door here, excuse me, training lockers door here. And we'll see what DLS changes on this attack.
So we do see the smoke call coming out to block off Office, and that's going to be a good call because there are 2 members of Aardvarks in there waiting for that flanking push. We see Vup over there on the bottom side of Training as well. So if that wall charge still goes off, Vup can make a play there. It's going to be the mop with Dead Not Sleeping. We'll see if that I'm not sure that's the most useful weapon there. Oh, I'm sorry, that's not a mop. That's the Ingram. So there goes the first kill out, though. Dead Not Sleeping. Double shot on the Enigmatic. Brilliant shooting there. And he's going to have to make his way out of there. They're kind of pinned in there, and Buzzquick's going to make that flank around. And there's it. There it is. Double kill coming out from Buzzquick there. Oh, I'm sorry, that was a single kill. But then Buzzquick traded off by Cords, I believe. Still 2 members on the top side making this flank potential possible. But we are seeing Warmy finally moving in on the lockers. Lone Wolf lucky he didn't get blasted by that wall charge. There goes the door opening up. Lone Wolf taking a fight. Will not make it over onto Warmy. Warmy getting that frag, and it's now Warmy and Korgs coming in. Dead Not Sleeping taken out on the backside, and that's pretty much going to seal this round unless one of these 2 members can finally come around. Buff's still on the top side. I'm not sure what's going on there. Real Elsewhere comes in, and now it's going to be a 3-on-1. The bomb defuse is going out. Buff just not going to be able to make it there in time. Just not sure. Oh, there goes 1 kill. Double kill from Buff. Oh, he can do this, but no. Korg sticks to the defuse. I'm not sure that Buff realized she was still defusing there, but Korg's just, heads up play, just held the button down for that last second, got the defuse, and ties it up here.
Yeah, Vup had a Molotov. Maybe a bit, some quick thinking there could have saved the round. A Molotov would have forced Korgs off the bomb. But I guess that just didn't get used in the chaos. In this round, we saw an exact opposite. We saw the first starting picks from Aardvarks, but DLS decided to turn that around. They were able to stop the momentum, and then they kind of just pushed Aardvarks out of the site and forced them to retake. And because they were forced to retake in a disadvantage, it kind of just made them not think clearly, and Molotovs didn't get used, and some shots were missed. So that gave DLS the round. It stopped Aardvarks starting momentum, and I would say now it's even fight.
Yeah, it almost worked out there for VUP as well. I mean, I'm surprised they stayed up on the top side so long, but then when they did sweep in, it caught both members initially off guard, but Korg just held that defuse.
I mean, depending on what team wins, we'll have to ask them in an interview post-game. But now moving on to Factory. Foul Echo. So when we are seeing this map, what a common thing to do on this map is you can breach left side dock, that 01 number dock that you see on the left side, and go into west office. That gives you a lot of control over the site, but it also lets you contest east office. The only issue with it is if you have somebody playing behind the cover in dock, or somebody sitting inside the site in that shipping container, they can counter that play pretty effectively because you have to be, on the site to defuse the bomb. I mean, makes sense, right? Otherwise, a common thing we see is storage pushes. Obviously, green pushes are very common because you want to save those wall charges, those door charges, for when it would be more effective. So a lot of teams opt for just a storage push. They'll standard double flash. They might smoke Toxic and just push up to East Office with close range guns where they can clear it out pretty easily and hit power if needed. Now, DLS, it seems like they're going for possibly a storage and Toxic play. So if they do have a player go fan, that could clean up Toxic as well as No Man's Land above the bomb for DLS, and that would force a lot of players into awkward positions for Aardvarks, I feel like, especially VUP with a knack there. If he gets pushed out of East Office, he's got to hit some pretty hard taps with the knack to be effective. So we'll see how it turns out, though, as DLS is starting the push.
It's going to be Dead Not Sleeping with the mop on that far side west office. A pretty solid spot for that to be played at, and definitely one that is to be expected, I think, from either side. We'll see how many frags he can get out of that. It's going to be a 4-1 split, though. Warmy, the only one up on fan, and they're going to take that peek in there slowly, but fortunately nobody's watching that. There comes the storage push with a smoke out. I'm not sure about that smoke usage, but we'll see here as Joe and Cloud make their way up the stairs and start to push in on these 2-3 members in East Office. And there goes the first fight. Korg's winning that battle over on the Real Elsewhere. That'll give them entry in the site. But there comes the mop, ringing out. Single shot over on the Korgs. And now Lone Wolf and VUP both chime in with kills. That's 3 members down for DLS. Enigmatic with the Saber. See if he can get something here. Takes the first shot towards VUP, and it's unfortunately a miss. Marmy in there in the backside, making sure he stays covered. So they're going to try and just get a few... Oh, no. Warmy with a frag over on the Enigmatic. I'm not sure what happened there, but now it's all down to Warmy. Last member left alive. Oh, that is very unfortunate. And now being shot from behind by Lone Wolf. Lone Wolf changed his position around, gets the final frag, and that's going to be a 2-1 advantage for Aric Aardvarks there.
Yeah, that's good on Aardvarks. We can see the plan there for DLS was to smoke off No Man's Land, but because they had to clear out East Office before they could smoke, Korgs took the risk of peeking solo, and that gave the kill over to Dead Not Sleeping, which kind of snowballed the round when you don't have anything to contest that backup phase. Because once you get past the first push of those players in East Office, you have to contest the snipers in West Office, and there was nothing to contest there if you can't clear East Office first. So favorable fights were taken, yes, but just I think not at the right times during that round. If they had focused a bit more in on their utility usage, they would have had the perfect timing to turn that round towards DLS. But in the end, Aardvarks able to pull it back with a strong sort of 2-lined defense. And we are going to see Aardvarks swap to the attacking side now, back to C-Store, Neptune Eater. And once again, these 2 lanes, Arcade Freezer and Storage. We might see some play in Storefront this time because Tellers is a pretty common position to hold on to in this case. We might see a shed take, and Aardvarks is interested in using those rotate shutters to get straight into bomb. But with this push, they're going to have to worry about Bathroom and Freezer a lot, because if you see where they're pushing, if any players of DLS decide to fall back and not take a fight, they'll be forced into Storefront, Arcade, and Freezer. where they can just hold long angles onto the bomb, and Aardvark's plan will fall apart because you can't defuse the bomb in that open of an area when you have to watch that many angles. It just doesn't work out the way it should. We are going to see a barbed wire that might end up hurting DLS on that freezer to arcade rotate, but we might also see, which is pretty common, 2 barbed wires towards the storage and office positions, because, you know, that is one of the main places to enter for no matter if you're going for an economy play or if you're going for a simple red door play where you want to play close range. But we are going to see 2 players from DLS on the storage and teller side. We'll see if they get pushed out as Aardvarks are preparing for the attack using this shutter rotate, it seems like.
Yeah, let's keep an eye out on this top side. Warmy's going to have their work cut out for them if this play is going according to how it's written. If office gets pushed and storage gets pushed, they were originally pinned right there in between the two. And it's going to be up to Enigmatic with that auto shotgun to kind of come in and save the day. If that shotgun gets 3 kills, 2 kills, it's going to be a pretty good round then for DLS to work out of. So here comes that initial breach. We'll see what happens here as Aardvarks make their way into storage and office. There's Enigmatic on the backside. That door's still closed, so he can hear footsteps clearly. So Molly going out and blocking the path. There goes the auto shotgun. Gets nothing though. Real elsewhere. Quick on the draw with the AP-25, and that'll seal that deal for the auto shotgun. And I don't know if Bisquick is going to pick it up. So it's now Warmy just kind of pinned all over the place. They go down. It's now Joe just stuck in tellers. Let's see if they can get a kill here. No, 3 members just swarm in. And it's Real elsewhere just doing absolute work right now. Cloud had a tough fight there against that auto shotty, but it's going to be Dead Not Sleeping picking up on the frag. The cords, it's now all Cloud left alive, and they're just pinned between a rock and a hard place as Lone Wolf and Real elsewhere come in. Round sealed for Aric Aardvarks, and they'll go up 3-1.
Yeah, impressive plays from Aric Aardvarks. What we saw there was the perfect sweep for the auto shotty in bathroom. What they did is they had flashed past the corner, so it would still affect Enigmatic. But if oh my god, I can't speak. I'm so sorry to Byakko. But if Enigmatic wanted to escape that flash, they would have had to go straight north. And if you're going straight north, you're stuck in a corner where you have a range disadvantage there because of those SMGs of the attackers on Aric Aardvarks. So that flash kind of gave them bathroom control, and then from there they could all regroup up and push tellers, and that's where we saw Real elsewhere just shred people up on the side of DLS. We saw him get 3 kills that round. So impressive work from Aardvarks. They've definitely put a stand up so far, and we'll see if they can take the first map in possibly a 5-1 or 5-2 fashion. Back to Invictus Fist. This is the kill house map that we usually see lurkers on. We did see 2 lurkers for the side of Aardvarks on the north side, but we'll find out if DLS decides to do something similar, or if they even play it better and win the round because of it. It doesn't look like there's too many marks on the map here, so I'll just go over some common things that are well known on this map. Obviously, lockers is going to be close range, but you can actually wall bang those lockers with black tars, mops, and sabers. So playing in lockers is slightly risky. If you have multiple layers of cover, it's not too difficult to hold properly. One of the common barbed wires that we see is going to be on kitchen, but it looks like DLS is opting to put that on the south door instead of the north door. That is a little bit different, but if a player is playing shotgun in lockers, that's much more effective than just having one in kitchen, kind of slowing them down, right? If you're not going to waste resources holding kitchen, then what's the point of putting a barbed wire there? It doesn't look like DLS is interested in holding training or office, but we'll find out in just a second. There is going to be 1 player in office as well as 1 in the garage. So we'll see how that ends up, as Aardvarks has definitely marked that office flank, as well as possibly this is a wall charge play from them.
Yeah, so we're seeing Korgs up here. She's acting just basically as an audio sentry. She's just going to be listening. Are they going left? Are they going right? And that's going to change the way they play here on DLS defensively. Because if you hear that right side push over towards training or the courtyard, you're going to, shift your strategy up just a little bit. But it's going to be that typical left side push here for all 5 members of Aardvarks. And they're just pieing this door, the windows here, seeing what they can see. And there's nobody in garage. So it's a 4-person stack at the bottom. for lockers. Something we haven't seen strategically in a while, but that's dangerous. If they go for a wall breach here, that has the potential to do a lot of damage. And here comes that push here, and they're just going to get full control of kitchen, so they're realizing something's up defensively, and it's going to be Korg's topside. Taking the fight gives a little chip damage away, and Korg's now goes down. Unfortunate for her, as Real Elsewhere has been on a tear these past few rounds, and now they're going to start up this big flank all the way through training. Enigmatic gets the kill over on the buff, though, in the meantime, and that's going to even things up slightly. But now you're seeing all that wallbang potential coming out as Real Elsewhere begins that flank. Doors open, it's all down a cloud with that little knack, and the frag comes through. Brilliant play there. And a double shotgun blast from Warmy. That'll just seal the deal. That just evens things up. It's all down to Lone Wolf as Warmy just blasted 2 members. Real Elsewhere and Deadline Sleeping single shot as they go down. 1v1. Let's see what can be done here as Lone Wolf and Warmy duke it out. Warmy picking the fight here a little bit. A little dangerous. Health is pretty even between the two of them. Remember that the defenders have a little bit less health overall than the attackers do. So a little more chip coming out. Time becoming a factor, but not really. This will be over long before then. And one bullet finally connects there. Lone Wolf gets the kill. It's going to send Aric Aardvarks on their way to a 4-1.
Yeah, it looked like Warmy actually got a lot of good chip damage there onto Lone Wolf, but in the end, the AP-25 won it out at that range, especially with the pressure finally put on Lone Wolf. They decided to push up, and since they had the aggression in that situation, they were dedicated to the peak. They won that fight against Warmy with a shotgun. So we'll see another round come out for DLS, and I'm pretty sure that is now a 2-2 if that's, or excuse me, 3-2 if that's correct. So now
4-1, I believe.
4-1, was that Aardvarks?
That was Aardvarks win there.
Excuse me, yeah. I'm switching up sides, but Factory now. Aardvarks, they defended this map perfectly. So we'll see if DLS takes inspiration from that, or if DLS tries to throw an off-meta play and kind of just keep Aardvarks from knowing what their own plan is. This map does have a lot of presence on the right side, unless you decide to just go for a straight docks play, which is possibly what Aardvarks is looking for. They might breach open docks behind cover and just smoke themselves in, and from there they can just take out whoever's playing West Office, and then it's a skirmish between the two offices for site. Now, we have only seen it once in League, and that's having a auto shotgun in the bomb container. We might see it come out here. I wouldn't be surprised considering it is the first match point for Aric Aardvarks. But we'll see what DLS does.
Throw the kitchen sink at him at this point if you're DLS. I mean, you lose the round, you lose the set. You might as well bring it all and, try and continue it, because if you can get, the 2 rounds here and get back on the attacking side of things, you might have the advantage to take things back.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that. You can definitely break the momentum, and that's been done before. We saw an upset. I'm pretty sure it was Red and Guac. Guac just broke the momentum of Red because there were also technical issues in that game, and Guac ended up upsetting Red because they just had the momentum there. They still felt good. They still felt confident in themselves, even though there were a lot of issues, and they just kind of overpowered Red in that manner. We might see something similar happen here with DLS. If they can shift the tide here even just once, they may start stacking rounds off of Aardvarks' mistake, or maybe multiple mistakes. We'll find out, as a Saber is going to be holding the top side. We'll see where it goes, and I'm pretty sure it is set for Fan.
Ooh, attempted frag there over on the Warmy. That was that almost could have been trouble there. If Warmy was holding that topside catwalk, that frag would have done a number on them. But fortunately, they make it through all right. Just a little bit of damage already done, though, to one member here of DLS. I believe that's Joe. So, but we see that long-range potential. Mop and 2 Igmars. That could be a factor here. And now it's going to be a Mop versus Saber battle here on the top side. But there goes Joe being taken down through the dock side. Brilliant kill there from Lone Wolf. And that'll set things going straight for Aric Aardvarks right now. They have the man advantage on this game set point. Oh, Vuff going down in the meantime. Enigmatic picking up a good kill. Warmy as well, so they take things back over in their advantage. This is exactly what DLS needs at this time. Having the advantage is key here on a map this big. We're seeing Lone Wolf kind of creeping around on the side over there, looking for something. I'm not sure what. Probably just pieing that angle, hoping to get a frag over on Enigmatic, but it's not going to come easily. Definitely taking their time with this one, Aardvarks. They're maybe not wanting to give up too much, especially that Saber at this time. Buzzquick just waiting over on the side there, not sure what's going on. Oh, and there goes the frag over on the Lone Wolf now. It's just going to be real elsewhere on the bottom side. See what they can do. And fix up the first frag there over on the Enigmatic. Flares are going out just in case. Warmy on the top side of the office with the mop. He's trying to use it like a shotgun. Can't get the frag though, but time definitely a factor here. 5 seconds left to start that defuse, and it will be a factor as he gets on it. But oh, there goes the frag, and that's going to seal the round. At this point, DLS, they're going to go up. They're not going to go up. They're going to get that second round on the board. And on the side switch here, we'll see if they can maybe push things into their favor on the attacking end.
Yeah, it looks like Buzzquick's internet just decided to die for a minute here, but hopefully he'll be back quickly. But that small thing may have just swung the favor of DLS. Like I said, shifting that tide could really help DLS. We saw some good picks there. Enigmatic actually got the pick on Docs, which prevented the push and even the pinch from Toxic and Office side with Docs. In the end, though, we did see picks come out on the West Office, which almost gave up the site to Aardvarks. But DLS was able to hold strong in that round. They didn't change their positions too much, and they held it. They held it tightly. They did very well there on their defense round. But back to attack for them. We'll see what they can pick up. They've gotten 1 round on attack and 1 round on defense. We'll see what they can do this time. Aardvarks still match point, so they have to keep up the streak now if they want to keep it alive.
So what do you do if you're Aardvarks here? Do you, again, use that term, throw the kitchen sink? Do you bring out, a bunch of utility, including the auto shotty on the first map here, the side, or do you play it standard? Do you kind of go in a little bit dry, used up just a little bit of barbed wire maybe, and try and get the map traditionally? What would you do in this situation?
Well, we've seen a lot of teams just go for the full get everything out, like rush hard. But sometimes if you just decide to give the opponents a round just so you can save your own economy, you can predict them overusing their utility. Say they might use 3 barbed wires instead of 2, and they might bring an extra Molotov, and they'll use all that utility. Yes, they'll still have their super weapons, but if they use all that utility, you can save nades for kills. You can save flashes for actually clearing rooms instead of just starting the breach and then also throwing another flash to make sure you can get into the room safely. If you save, you have the potential more for the next round. But if you decide to go super weapons first round, it's kind of just a super weapon skirmish between the two teams. So it's really just a matter of mind games when it comes down to that. Yes, there's always going to be individual gun skill, and there is always the potential to clutch. But at the end of the day, you need to think about what you're doing. Because if you just say, hey, I'm gonna go in freezer and I'm just gonna go stick the bomb, there's no way you're gonna win that if you just decide to say walk in freezer and defuse the bomb. You actually have to have a plan set up. You have to have some form of coordination for it to work out. And it looks like Aardvarks only has 4 members this round, so DLS maybe getting a third.
Well, is it just me, or do I only see 4 members of DLS as well? Are they honor systeming this? I believe I'm only counting 4 members, so they might be trying to play an honor system here and go a man down as well. But there we go. We see 2 kills come out very early. Cloud and Warmy both getting the frags off, and it's down to Real Elsewhere and Lone Wolf to defend this. And they're both kind of stuck in arcade. Cloud had them pinned there for a moment, but they will find that frag. But now the pathway is open to bomb site. We'll see if Joe and Warmy decide to push in on that as Corks just holds that doorway. And there goes the lighting. Lighting's shut out. Oh, no. There's the 5th member. Enigmatic with the Saber on the bottom starts spraying through the wall, gets the kill over on the Lone Wolf. And that should hopefully seal this round unless Real Elsewhere has something to say about it. Bomb being tickled by Joe. Joe's going to get around into that corner, and they're just going to keep Real Elsewhere pinned here. And there it goes. Warmy with the frag onto them. That'll end the round, and it's going to be 3-4 now. So DLS clawing their way back here, especially with that man advantage starting off the rounds. We're hoping that Bestquick can get back in here soon, because that's going to be a key factor for them to have all 5 members, especially on the defending side.
Yeah, if needed, Aardvarks will definitely get a sub in. I've noticed that they definitely have more than 5 people in that in the team chat right now. So worst case scenario, we'll see a new player come in. Other than that, another round on the board for DLS. We saw a pretty simple push there, somewhat of a mimic to Aardvarks push on C-Store, except they just opted out of that shutter rotate, because if they decided to go there, they could have been shot from Freezer or Arcade, and that wasn't a risk that they wanted to take. So a fair play from them. They played it safe, but they ended up getting the round because of it, and no team went all out, and I'm pretty sure that's because neither of the teams had their full potential there without all of them pushing one area or 5 defenders, of course.
And I think one thing you're starting to see defenders do on a map like that is when you have multiple entry points on one side of the map, that top side in particular there, you don't want to have a person up there, because if the attackers decide to kick in 2 doors at the same time and you're stuck in the middle, you're not getting out of that. I mean, we've seen it a few times where somebody was sitting there in the middle of, the 2-room split, and both doors got kicked in on them, and you're like, do I look left, do I look right? You're just going to panic, and even the best player is going to maybe get 1 frag off. It's just that health advantage of the attackers is just going to overwhelm you.
Exactly, and that's why sometimes on these close range maps like Kill House, you need to pair up with a teammate. You need to do the buddy system, and it looks like Aardvarks is going to have to stick to the buddy system. They've only got 4 people, so maybe if they decide shotgun on one person, SMG on another, they can start to double team DLS, and they could possibly, I wouldn't say camp out angles, but hold angles that DLS is not expecting, holding off angles, as some Counter-Strike terms I'm just throwing out there. So Aardvarks, they have the potential to take it right now if they play it right, and it seems they're opting for an interesting barbed wire that no team has done yet on Garage, while DLS is just looking for a basic wall charge into site. So we might see a lot more site presence from DLS, while Aardvarks kind of just decides to roam. Remember, there is that little balcony shed top in front of Garage, so there can be runouts towards that attacker truck, especially with the attacker truck on the north side. There is definitely the potential for peaks here, and it looks like that's going to be the case with a mop on Real.
Oh, Real Elsewhere can definitely get this round evened up for them. It's tournament man advantage. There goes the first shot ringing out. They're going to fall back, but now they're going to re-peak it, and DLS needs to be careful not to be giving free frags away here. But here comes the 2-person rush. Enigmatic and Joe coming in. Molly goes out to stop him, though. But it's all 4 members of Aardvarks just back in the locker. Wall frag on the buff. You had to know that was coming any moment. Real Elsewhere just running for their life. Gets pinned down, gets killed out. Still 2 members going down, though, for DLS. They got to be careful here. It's only a 1-man advantage. The frag coming in from Lone Wolf. That's huge. Oh, no, and Sleeping got a kill as well. It's a 1v2. Joe's the last one left alive. She's got her work cut out for him. Shotgun coming in, but Lone Wolf from the backside, and that's going to seal the round. DLS just couldn't pull it through there, and just solid plays from the last 2 members of Aardvarks to seal the round, and they will get the first set win, even being a person down.
Exactly. They did that buddy system there that I mentioned. We saw a mop shot once Real was in sight. We saw a mop shot ring out, and that gave Dead Not Dead a double kill. And that basically swung the momentum towards the side of Aardvarks, even though they had man disadvantage there. And as soon as the kill on Korgs came out on that kitchen garage door, it was completely swung over. There was nothing else I think DLS could have done. A shotgun on Joe, and from there they couldn't really take a fight with an Igmar and a Knack. You can't just take 2 fights with a shotgun unless you have that auto shotty. So Aardvarks, impressive, even a man down, taking the first map 3-5 in fashion.
Yeah, I think what happened there is DLS got a little overconfident at the end. Perhaps they had that 3-person advantage at one point with the kills, and they went for a rush play, and it was just Igmar and Knack just blasting them as they made their way in, and things got evened up very quickly. And then just a few little key shots ringing out here and there, and it was brilliant play there by Aardvarks to take that one.
Yeah, it was good from them. Now they are at the advantage here. Aardvarks looks like we're just gonna have everybody restart their game real quickly, and we'll get into the second map. But Aardvarks, I'm impressed with them. They definitely did more than we thought they could with a man down, and they instead of DLS taking advantage of the mistake, it looks like Aardvarks kind of used DLS's over aggression, like you said, to their advantage, and that ended up swinging the round in Aardvark's favor because they were able to play off each other, especially in a close range kill house like that. So good on Aardvarks. First map for them in 5-3, and we'll see if DLS can claw it back, or if Aardvarks can possibly go for a 2-0 here, which neither of us predicted, I don't think.
No, but big credit though to DLS. They didn't give up at all, and that wasn't just a factor of having a man advantage at all. That was just a team that knew that they did have every bit of a potential to come back and win that, even if it was 5v5. So good on them for putting up the big fight that they did. And next time, better luck. Let's hope to see them pull out this next set and even things up 1-1.
Yeah, we'll see what they can do. Aardvarks, like I said, they do have the advantage now that they have the first map, but DLS, they've definitely improved since we've seen them, and so is Aardvarks. But I don't know, still fairly close, even with a man down on the side of Aardvarks. We didn't see any 2-floor kill houses, which was a little bit disappointing. I would have loved to see how these teams played on a more vertical or vertically inclined map. But we saw some good office plays on both sides, so we'll see if we get one of those interesting maps that we saw with the last patch, or we might see Chronos Star again, one of the most popular factory maps. Who knows? But an interesting set of maps. We saw one of the new open sea stores. We saw obviously a common factory, and on the side of Killhouse, while it is one of the newer maps, it's one of the maps that teams have solidified most of their plans on so far. Most people know, hey, we'll set barbed wire here in kitchen to garage door, and here in training. And most teams, they knew those maps fairly well. So at that point, I'm pretty sure it was just coordination and the aim fights there. It looks like Aardvarks is going to be getting their last ready here. DLS is readied up. So we'll get into the second match in just a moment. Any predictions for the second map, Byakko?
Oh, well, it's hard to predict when you don't know what the individual maps are going to be. Some of these teams we've seen favor certain configurations over others. I'm rooting hard for DLS here. I want to see it go to a third set. And it does look like we'll be having some substitutions coming in on the part of Aardvarks. Rita is queued up on match right now, so that will be at least one change coming out. I'm not sure who else is going to be coming in here. I'm still seeing Dead Not Sleeping potentially being that fifth that they're going to pick up, but it is actually still Busquick in there, so I can't remember who dropped out of their group. We have Real Elsewhere, Lone Wolf, Rita, and Busquick, as well as Dead Not Sleeping. Who am I missing from our previous match?
Busquick is back. It's just that I think they were restarting their game, so they'll be queued into a party in just a moment, I believe.
But yeah, it's hard to predict when you don't know which maps are going to be essentially coming out here. But again, yes. I want to see DLS come through here. They definitely have, I think, a little bit of potential advantage when it comes to aiming, but we're seeing some of this just stronger gameplay as a team coming out from Aardvarks, and they're doing some cheeky plays too. Like we saw the one factory map where they tried to throw a frag grenade through the window at the start and almost landed right on one member of DLS. That could have been a just devastating blow there, especially when it was the mop. The mop were sitting right in that area, and the grenade landed only a few feet away up on the catwalk. if the bot was sitting on the catwalk and catches that frag, that's the round changed instantly before, any door has even been blown open.
Yeah, exactly. The verticality there did save the Mott player, but if you keep a close record of those counterplays, while it is pretty common to nade those catwalks when you get a factory map similar to it, we usually don't see it incorporated into a plan like that, saying, "Hey, we'll frag the Mott player in the back of factory, and then from there we can just push the opposite side of the map without having to worry about long sight lines." That was the plan there, and it was wrenched a little bit sideways when that frag was missed, just because of that small bit of verticality. So, good positioning. Because on those lower catwalks, you can see into the toxic fan specifically on that map. But also, if you're playing on the upper catwalk, you have a chance to just take a body shot and then back up, so your teammates can clean it up. So either way, you're gonna end up getting a pick for your teammates, whether it's a direct pick or if it's just down to 15 health, so your teammate with a knack or a Gruber or something like that can clean it up. And DLS and Aardvarks are going to be queued into the match here in just a second, I believe. It looks like they are, and we'll be getting right into this second map of the series. Like I said, Aardvarks taking the first in 5-3. So, hopefully we see this go to a third map. Byakko, I'm going to stick with your prediction and your heartstrings right now. I'm going to hope that DLS brings it to a third map, because I definitely want to see the measures that these teams go to when they want to stand up for their final podium positions here. This is the last match before playoffs, so we'll see what both these teams can do. We'll see what they can bring out, and it looks like Aardvarks may already have this one in the bag.
All right, jumping in now, and so it will be Aardvarks on the defending side, DLS on the attack to start this off. Let's see what we have to work with here.
2-floor kill house, and this is going to be PAX life. Now, there's a pretty common, glitch, hitbox issue, rendering issue, but on the couch on south side of VIP, there is a pixel peak on the top of the couch where you can see through the small scaffolded cover there. So most teams use it, and it's a pretty common spot, so most teams can counter it easily, just like DLS's mark. They know that spot. So most teams are pretty okay with using it at this point. It's not really a bug. It's just kind of something in the game, and it's pretty easy to counter. So no team really specifically says, let's not use it, let's do an honor code there. So not too much to worry about on the side of VIP. But if you take a look at security, that's going to be a clean sightline into office, and also possibly from lobby. If DLS decides to push lobby or security at the same time, they can easily pinch office and VIP, which will force all the defenders either into dance floor, where they can just get picked off from both angles, or onto the stage, where they can get pinched or pushed back into backstage. But we'll see what Aardvarks can do on this defense. It is going to probably be some longer range guns coming out. I wouldn't be surprised if I saw a mop on this first round, or even both Igmars, to be entirely honest. There is going to be a barbed wire on stage, though, something that might hurt them if DLS decides to split here. So one player in far backstage holding those windows on security, and it looks like most of Aardvarks is going to be on this left side of the map. Not too worried about office and security.
Pretty interesting play coming out here. Setup of weapons, that is. Five players on defense, 5 different weapons. So everybody picking what they like, it seems. No super weapons to start off. We're not going to see any sabers or things like that. 3 AP-25s, though. And here comes that lobby push. 3 members of DLS making their way in. Smoke going out to block the way. Joe's going to make her way up the stairs through that barbed wire. And we'll see if 2 members there of Aardvarks can do something about that. Lord of Poop and Real Elsewhere up there. Here comes the initial fight. Joe coming around the corner, gets taken down. No, Lord of Poop with the frag there. And now it's Warmy. Lord of Poop is taken down 2. Lone Wolf, another one in the meantime. It's 3-man advantage. And now Korgs is taken down. It's going to be all on 1 member left alive. Enigmatic, the last member of DLS on this round. I would just call a save at this point. Not a whole lot you can do in a 1v5, especially with very little damage being dealt out. And there's no utility to take away from this either. So Enigmatic's still gonna still going to attempt to get some frags in there, but facing 5 members left alive, I think this is pretty securely in the bag for Aardvarks for round 1.
Yeah, I'd have to agree on that, Byakko. It looks like Aardvarks just had the good positioning here. They didn't play an office like expected, and they were pretty easily able to clean up the round, like you saw right at the end there. A pretty simple pinch from Stage and VIP just shut down the entire push on lobby. And that's an economy round for DLS, but at what cost? At the cost of plenty of guns, at the cost of their APs. Obviously, they do have enough to get get through the next few rounds, but all that utility that they brought, it's gone now. They're not going to be able to use that for close quarters like storefront or even offices if we do get a factory map with it.
And let's talk about that placement of that barbed wire at the top of stairs, because when you're coming upstairs and you don't have a view of the angle that you're entering on, and you've got barbed wire to deal with, and you have no utility to take it out, that was used to devastating effect. They had 2 members there just funneling firepower onto the people as they came into that room of office, and that's what won them the round for Aardvarks. It was just good utility placement, and then having the firepower to back it up.
Exactly. And now on to Disdainful Lotus. This is a trip for attackers. So you got plenty of options here, right? You've got storefront, you've got arcade, you've got the office drop, and you've even got the shed right next to tellers. But the issue, all of those put you in different situations, so it's very hard to do a split on this map. Say you decide to breach storefront and go right side to freezer. Well, you're going to need long-range guns for storefront and then close for freezer. Say you decide to go left side storefront. You're going to need close range for bathroom, but then what do you do when you need to hold the bomb? Say you drop office, the same situation. Close range guns for dropping down, but then what do you do when you need to hold freezer or storefront? You need to have a very good balance of weapons and utility here for it to work properly. And it looks like Aardvarks is somewhat aware of this. They are placing barbed wires in favor of just giving up the office drop, because that is a common play, and it looks like that's exactly what DLS is going for. If a player is set in arcade here for Aardvarks, which it does seem like there is, the entire push for DLS could be shut down. But if they're able to just overpower that one player, the round might start swinging into the favor of DLS, and they might get the first round that they need to start pushing towards a win.
Very much so. And then this is a common thing going from that skylight drop into office. We'll see if they do choose to use that, how many players are actually involved there. And so far, it looks like none. It looks like they're just going to ignore that drop entirely, sending all 5 over to shed. So Rita is going to be the first one to make contact here, most likely. Molly coming out, slowing the advance. Good use of utility there. Remember, Rita does have a way out, going through the teller door in the storefront if they don't want to give up shutter control. But shutter control would definitely be a factor here, considering how close all members of DLS are to being able to use that. But no, it's just going to be the bully push. 4 of them coming in. Ooh, that sneaky door breach trying to take control of that. Rita pinned out into the corner. Are they going to be able to get anything done here? No. Joe takes down Rita, and it's now down to 4 members on the defense side. Left to do anything about that, though. There will be a return frag coming from Lord of Poop. Cloud being wasted there. And the bomb diffuse is being tickled. Warmy gonna have to hold the doorway. Here comes the auto shotty. Warmy doing work. 4 kills. Oh my goodness. Warmy just sat there, held the door down, waited for all members of Aardvarks to push in, and just, rack that shotgun again and again and again. And it seemed like each click of the mouse was a frag there from Warmy. Brilliant play.
Yeah, even shutting down the auto shotty on the side of Aardvarks, that is going to be given up to DLS now. What we saw there was a little bit off meta, and it looks like Aardvarks wasn't prepared for that. Even though they had a player arcade that could have helped rotate to officer freezer, they couldn't do that because they weren't sure if somebody was holding skylight. Excuse me. So when shed got breached and there was a Molotov out, obviously you can't rotate because of that skylight hold, but they just didn't know there wasn't a player there, so they just didn't rotate, and they decided to sit in bathroom and storage, hold on to power, and just gave up sight. And from there, like I said, sometimes you need those long-range guns for the right side, but also you need the short-range guns for the left side. And from there, it's just a mosh pit. You can either get shotgun from the left side, like what happened with Warmy, or you can get black tarred from the right side by tellers, which kind of is a pinch at that point, and you have nowhere to go besides skylight. and once again, you can be holding Skylight. So it's a rough situation for defenders in that map if Shed is decided to be the target of the push.
But
So
let's talk for one moment though about what DLS did there. They put a door breach into Tellers, hoping there was a player in there, and it was a matter of seconds that Rita got out and
Yeah.
ran away from that. You know, that would have been a 100% frag guaranteed there if they were still inside of that room. Door breach would have been lethal there. And so, you know, we're starting to see those, I wouldn't call them cheeky plays, but unique strategies, meta type things that some teams are bringing out where, you know, you do the unexpected, like do a door breach a green door. Well, when it's a room the size of a shoebox, that's a brilliant strategy to pull out.
Exactly. We've seen some teams put wall charges on red doors instead of door charges because of how small rooms are. And that either gets them a kill or forces the enemy into a certain position that they can just flash and clear super easily. So creative plays coming out from DLS. That's going to be the first round on this second map for them. And they may have just stopped Aardvarks' advance, as Aardvarks is now going to be treading on thin ice without the auto shot. So some pretty basic barbed wires coming from Aardvarks. It looks like they're just deciding, hey, let's hold site, let's hold office. Let's not worry too much about Toxic, even though we know they're going to push it. And that prediction is perfect. DLS is going to be going for the storage and Toxic pinch. One of the common things to do is have two players go to that green storage door and the window there just to clear it out and hold bottom Toxic while the rest of the team breaches red door on the north side of Toxic. From there, they can just steamroll their progress. They can take over the west side of bomb site or alleyway. And from there, they can either smoke their cross to office or they can take some simple fights. But Igmars and a Mop coming out from Aardvarks, we'll see if they can stand their ground here at long range against a knack, shotgun, and auto shotty of DLS.
Yeah, Lone Wolf here going to be the first point of contact on this Toxic push. Real elsewhere there with the Mop, taking a very dangerous peek. First shot rings out, it misses. It's not a big deal right now, and Lone Wolf's just bugging out. Lone Wolf's giving up Toxic entirely. Lighting goes off. We'll see if those flares come into play, and yes, they will be pulling out into the middle of alleyway. That's going to be their main defensive site. A little bit of damage coming out from Lone Wolf. Oh, and Korg's accidental TK over on the Warming. That's not good, but Lone Wolf now taking out Enigmatic, but Korg makes up for it with a kill over on the Lone Wolf. But now a whole bunch of kills ringing out for Aardvarks. It's all down on the Korgs, facing off against 4 members left alive of Aardvarks, and that's probably going to be the 2-1 advantage for Aardvarks on the set unless Korgs really pulls out something big. Frag being thrown out there. I'm not sure by who, but it didn't do anything at all. But then the Mop shot rings out to seal the round. Real Elsewhere gets 2 kills on the Joe and Korgs through that round with the Mop. You know, something you need to see from the Mop users is those accurate shots being used.
Yeah, we saw the nade actually come out from Korgs, but before then, they had just pushed through the barbed wire. But I guess they were concerned about somebody peeking them with that Mop, and they decided to fall back and just use a grenade, which kind of gave away their position. And from there, it was just all eyes. These weren't Aardvarks, these were Hawks. They were just keeping their eyes trained on that storage position as soon as the nade went off. So Aardvarks in the end getting the round, they kind of just forced DLS into interesting positions there with their Molotovs and barbed wires, and they kind of just couldn't get past the wall.
And perfect call on the weapons to bring there as everybody backed up into alleyway. All those long-range weapons, the Mop, the Igmars, everything, you know, just ringing out and, you know, hitting their shots. That's just going to be, you know, too much damage to deal with as you make your way through those doorways, and that came into great effect there.
Yeah.
So sides flipped back onto Pax Life.
And we will see DLS now on the defense. Will they mirror what Aardvarks did? Because it looks like Aardvarks might be going for something similar, except this time they want to pressure security. They want to force DLS into the stage position or even just out in the open. And we might see, what is that, a reverse smoke, a Z or a 2 in the circle in the middle. So we'll see what Aardvarks decides to do here. It does look like they want to go for a pinch, as DLS is somewhat concerned about that office position, especially because of snipers. If Aardvarks were to get control of office position, they basically can lock down VIP as well as those double lobby doors if they decide to like just teeter on the edge slightly. And the only place they can be killed from is stage if somebody decides to peek them. So once again, going back to this, forcing players into a certain position, making them take unfavorable gunfights when they don't have barbed wire or molotovs or certain utility to force the attackers back, so they can weigh their options and just take the fights they want to take.
And it looks like BLS are calling this. That barbed wire placement could be key here for them in that round if security's... Well, no. It looks like they've forgotten going through security, so it's not going to be an issue at all. 2 Igmars, though. That's going to be a key factor here if those shots can land from Warmy and Enigmatic. And there goes the first fight. Warmy gets the first kill, trying to hide back there. Flashbang comes out. I'm not sure Warmy can see anything right now. They're going to have to get more than 1 kill. They do not, but they at least get decent chip damage, and that comes into play right there as Cloud wastes real elsewhere. So, man advantage still. Flashbang's coming out. Enigmatic pinned in this corner now. There goes the smoke onto his position. We'll see if he can do anything. No. It's going to be Buzzquick coming around the side to get that frag, and it's now down to 3 members of DLS, more towards the bottom side of the map. Korgs and Cloud the next to take the fight. Joe's kind of alone up on the top side. We'll see if they get the call to swing around and help their teammates out here. Here goes Flashbang right on the Cloud. Cloud's going to bail out there, and it's left Korgs all alone. She goes down, unfortunately. Still a decent bit of damage done on the 2 members of Aardvarks, and that comes into play now. Lord of Poop goes down. Rita going to take the peek around that corner, and Buzzquick coming around on the backside. A little spray through the wall there. We'll see if Cloud can do anything, but it's going to be pinned in the corner. 2 members coming through here. Joe and Cloud. There goes 1 kill. It's down to a 1v1. Joe and Buzzquick. Who can win this fight? Damage pretty in favor right now of Joe. We'll see if she can pop through this, and she jumps down. She's going for the chase. Decides to back off on it. Good call there. Waiting in that corner. We'll see if Buzzquick can figure this out. Here comes a push around the corner, and Joe is just ready and waiting. There goes the first round of this half in favor of DLS. Big plays there from Joe at the end, and the 1 versus 2 manages to pull it out.
Yeah, that was good from them. The picks on the side of DLS were definitely some surprise fights that Aardvarks were not expecting to take, especially that lobby peak right off the start, giving man advantage. But Aardvarks kind of responded. They went backstage, they cleared out the mop, and they cleared out players before it ended up being a 1-on-1. And you saw they were basically the same health there until Joe got some chip damage, and that gave her the round, basically. Just holding a hard angle that you can't really peek into because of those double doors there.
One thing that confused me a little bit in that round is they threw a smoke on the Enigmatic, and I don't know if that was meant to be a flash or if they even knew Enigmatic was there. It just seemed like an odd bit of utility to pull out.
A common thing to do is if you smoke an entrance, obviously you don't know when somebody's going to enter, but also a common theme is whoever enters the smoke first is going to win the gunfight. And that's because inside of the smoke, you sort of have this bubble, this shield. So imagine if you were in a black ball that had a singular light in it. You can't see outside of it, but you can see everything inside of it. That's what the smokes kind of act like. So you can use smokes to entry, but you can also use them to force somebody out of position if you know how to play it properly, because they'll either have to stay in the smoke and you can just pre-fire them, or they have to come out of the smoke, and that's when they're at a disadvantage. So I'm pretty sure that was just smart smoke usage. They didn't want the mop to get any free kills, so they just smoked off the angle, so it was a blind shot if the mop even took one.
Yeah. Well, it worked out to their advantage because Enigmatic was the one in that smoke and then ended up going down in the end, but DLS still pulled out that round, and we've talked about their aim. Their aim has definitely been the key to them getting these round wins. And Joe showed that firsthand that previous round. But here we are on to Disdainful Lotus.
Yeah, back to Disdainful Lotus. We are going to see Aardvarks on the attack here. We'll see if they go for an office drop. It doesn't look like it. They are going to be opting for this wall charge on the left side of Storefront. Keep in mind, they are going to have a good variety of weapons here to hold this. That we might see a member of Aardvarks go to the right side and hold tellers while the rest push left. Or we might see everybody just rush down the left side, which would be a kill house for DLS, considering they do have the auto shotgun sitting on Warmy in storage. The smoke is going to start, and I'll let you take it.
Here we go. So we see that initial push in, a little bit of chip damage going on. Oh, Enigmatic, 2 kills right off the bat there, and more chip damage being done to Aardvarks. This is going to be a good round for DLS, I think. And Warmy just getting aggressive, getting up into that smoke. Remember we talked about, you can see from inside of it, and there goes the first blast over on the Reda. It's now just 2 members left alive of the attacking side here of Aardvarks, but they do manage to find 1 frag there over into Warmy. But 4v2 in the advantage of DLS right now, and Busquick's going to push in. Joe meets their end to the shotgun. Single blast comes out, and now a second shotgun. Busquick doing work, but then gets taken down from the backside by Cloud. If Busquick was allowed to get any more frags than that would have been a very bad time for DLS, losing members like that. But now they're looking for Lone Wolf. I don't think they know exactly where he is. Oh, now they do. Cloud just waiting there with the shotgun, gets that blast off. And that'll be the round advantage coming in the way of DLS. 3-2. First time we've seen them taking a lead here, and that's exactly what they need at this time.
Yeah, good round for Enigmatic and Cloud. They both got double kills in the round, and Warmy just cleaned up the other in the smoke. So, an interesting push. We saw the wall charge go off on left side, which kind of forces them to go to that pinch area on the left side by the bathroom door. Say if somebody were to hold right side, which is exactly where the auto shotgun was, they have a disfavorable fight. And from those angles, DLS just won the round. Aardvarks, they definitely had the coordination there to push in, but it seems they just had a moment of hesitation, which gave DLS the perfect opportunity to say, hey, let's rotate here, reposition, get ready for the fight. Hey, you want to go in the smoke? Okay, cool. Get aggressive. We've already got a pick. And that's exactly what happened. We saw the picks go off for both sides inside of the smoke, as well as right as the smoke bloomed, a simple spray, because there's only one entrance point, can take out 2 players like that. And that's exactly what happens on close quarters C-stores like that. But on the opposite end, we have some longer range fights. Back to Cresting Wolverine, it is a factory map, and it has some interesting quirks to it. Obviously, we have that red door on North Toxic, which kind of allows you to split Toxic in half. We also have the window on storage that helps you clear it before you breach. But on the favoring side of the defenders, we also have the bomb and a shipping container, or the bomb container. We also have good forklifts on alleyway, which can help hold Toxic. We saw members of Fluff take advantage of those forklifts, specifically Marbles with the mop. You got some really good kills on that. But on the other side, you have Office on the right side of the map. So Office has an interesting relationship with both teams. If the defenders are to barbed wire it properly, then it makes it very difficult for the attackers to take control of it. But it's kind of just a skirmish area, because it doesn't give you as much map control as you'd think. Yes, you have the catwalk to peek out into bomb site, but you can just be peeked from Toxic or storage at any moment and taken out, especially with the window there. Those desks there by the green door and Office don't provide that much cover. They can be wall banged through. So we'll see how they decide to take it.
So here we go. There goes that initial door breach, and a whole bunch of fire being thrown in there. Nothing hitting at all yet, but now it's going to be a big swing over onto the west side of the map. Busquick and Reda going to make their way in there. Maybe just using that as a distraction to get DLS all scattered and moved around, but I wouldn't say their positioning is at all bad at this point. So there goes that door breach as they move it on the Toxic. There's going to be barbed wire there to slow their advance, but I don't think anybody's going to be holding it too terribly tightly. Korgs might have to watch out here, and there goes the mop shot. Rings out on the 1 member of Aardvarks. Oh no, and that was a frag that just came out. I think that was a friendly fire from Red on the backside of Lone Wolf trying to get the kill over on the Korgs. So 1 member now down for each side. Enigmatic taken out in the process. That mop is now not a factor, but there's still an auto shotty. Another set of trades. Joe and Rita both getting their frags off. DLS maybe need to reset and fall back, and now it's going to be a wall, or no, not a wall bank, just through that open doorway. Warmy did not need to give up that auto shotty, especially not for doing very little damage at long range. Big advantage right now for Aardvarks if they can pull this through, and Cloud and Joe are going to have their work cut out for them. So, slow push coming in through that doorway. Cloud goes down. It's now all... No, Joe's gone down in the meantime. Just brisk round. Needless to say, I couldn't even call things out fast enough there. as Aardvarks got their kills in, one after another. Not a whole lot of damage done to those final 3 members either. So definitely a clean round for them.
There were some really good trades there on both sides, but then Joe and Warmeat were just, while they had the utility and they had the gun skill to take those fights, they just took the unfavorable peaks. We saw Warmeat take the auto shotty at a bit too far of a range. Maybe if they were up towards that barbed wire where Warmeat was expecting, it would have been an easier kill for them. But we saw Joe get caught out in the rotate. So some smart positioning from Aardvarks. They didn't put too much pressure on Toxic because nobody was really confident enough to flank them there, and they realized that. So they just put multiple guns and caught people like Joe rotating into office, and that kind of gave them man advantage. And from there, they just pushed into site and took a 2v1 where they killed a player on docks. So, but you can't really do that on Kill House as much. Yes, you obviously have the lobby takes where if somebody decides to peek lobby, you can take a 5v1 potentially there. And you also have office and VIP where you can create a pinch, but that's not really double peeking. That's just coming in from 2 different angles simultaneously. Double peeking is more of when you decide to have 2 players try to peek very close together angles so you can say overpower a mop, which is potentially a one-shot weapon. So if one player gets killed, you can immediately get the trade for it. So not as much potential for team play on Kill House as there is Factory as of the moment. But we may see DLS or Aardvarks take one of these. We'll find out. We'll see what team coordination they can put together. And it looks like Office is going to be of interest for DLS. They have put an exclamation point on that. They are aware of it, and it looks like they want to take VIP. They want to contest this pixel couch position. So no lobby contest, it seems like. So something different from the rounds prior. But for Aardvarks, a pretty standard setup, but 3 barbed wires instead of 2 this time. We'll see how it favors them. Maybe it's a waste of utility. Maybe it gives them the advantage because they did just win that round, kind of evening it up. But we'll see here as the 7th round begins.
I'm definitely going to find out momentarily. So this round has gone the way of the defenders both times, but one was a very close match. So door breach coming out up in the VIP. Utility being expended, and we're seeing Real Elsewhere using that pixel peek. Just a small little gap that you can see through up there, and DLS are definitely aware of this, but they're, oh no. Joe tries to predict the shot, but Real Elsewhere just counters with a fire right through the wall there and gets the frag out. Korgso has come up on the backside though, but they're ready for it, and Korgs might just be using that as a distraction. Keep them honest, keep them looking both ways, let them take a 1v1 fight here. Cloud makes her way in, gets around the corner. It's going to be a close range fight there. Lord of Poop goes down. Real Elsewhere's got to do some work here. And it's going to be warming Real Elsewhere as Real Elsewhere picks up 1 frag over in the process. But Korgs will win a battle in the meantime. Real Elsewhere goes down to Warmy. 3-man advantage. I'm sorry, 2-man is now negated as Bisquick picks up a frag, or Rita picks up a frag, I'm sorry. Both members of DLS just waiting in office, waiting for utility to burn out. Bisquick and Rita. Long-range weapons on one, very close range on the other. Pretty good setup here from them. Let's see if they can make use of that. So here's going to come that peak. Busquick and Real Elsewhere. Or, I'm sorry, an Enigmatic. Flashbang comes out. Enigmatic pushing the fight. Gets the first frag. Rita pushing out. Gets the shot. Long-range kill with the knack. You don't usually see that. That is a very tight-end weapon. And Rita is managing to swing over on the Warmy at that medium-range fight and take the win.
Yeah, match point now for Aardvarks. We did actually see some fairly even play there. We saw Cloud get a pick by a misplaced smoke. We saw long-range Igmar kills. We saw the couch pixel be used as well as countered. And we saw some sort of distraction there on security to pull the defenders back into backstage. But in the end there, because those defenders were pulled in the backstage, they were in the perfect position to just wait for DLS to push the bomb. And that's exactly what happened. The flash did come out. That did mess up the Igmar shots. But the knack, cleaning it up at long range even, I am pleasantly surprised by that. And it's going to give Aardvarks match point. The pressure is on for DLS, but there has been an attacking win and a defending win on this map so far. So maybe we'll see DLS go for that cheeky door charge play in Tellers again, or maybe we'll see Aardvarks do some sort of counter to it. I'm not sure, but it does look like Aardvarks wants to stack up their barbed wire on Freezer. The 3 barbed wires definitely paid off, so they might just try to close it off here, it seems like. Because if they do lose this round, a lot of utility is going to be used on the side of DLS, so both teams are going to be slightly dry in the last round if it comes down to that. Aardvarks might be looking to just straight up shut it down now, though, as DLS is going to plan for that shed take. Like I said, the shed take is one of the more optimal takes here, unless you decide to go for some sort of split between arcade and shed, or if you decide to go arcade and pressure power and storage while you also pressure shed. Now, splits on this map are obviously kind of difficult because you need man advantage for some of those close range fights, unless it's, say, an auto shoddy fight. But other than that, there's not much to point out on this map besides the hard angles that can be held. We actually see one of the members of Aardvarks, I'm not sure who that is because the UI isn't popped up yet, on the west side of Storefront, holding a hard angle. But DLS may be opting for the office drop-in as well as shed. We'll figure out here in a second what they decide to do.
Yeah, auto shoddy placed in the tellers, pretty good position for that, but it's an easily countered position if Buzzquick isn't ready and quick on the draw. And we'll see if DLS can make some magic happen here. And there's the obvious shots ringing out in shed at the door being breached. Wall charge in place. Korg's ready to drop in from the skylight as well, so we'll see if that comes into play later on. So there goes the Molly. Mollying him out. Just good use of utility there coming out from Lord of Poop. It's just going to be a slow, methodical entry at first. We'll see what they can do here. Molly is burned out, and now we're going to finally see that initial push. Auto shoddy going to be a key factor here on this push into tellers. Lord of Poop comes in. There goes the first kill. Lord of Poop takes one down, but traded instantly. Warmy getting the frag there. And there goes the auto shoddy. Oh, instant blast there coming out from Cloud. Negates the use of the auto shoddy from first go into tellers. And now I would say Aardvarks are on the disadvantage. They've got 2 members though in Storefront. Rita and Real elsewhere. They can do a lot here. Here comes the push on the backside though from Korgs. Warmy doing work with the shotgun. Tries to get a frag. Can't, but gets a decent bit of chip damage out. It's just going to be all down to Korgs now on the top side as she makes her way around. But here comes Enigmatic on the bottom side with the Saber. Frag over on Real elsewhere, and Arita going down at the same time. DLS take the round. They're going to tie it up here. And needless to say, this is an important round in more ways than one because all the utility, all the super weapons have pretty much been used up on the part of Aardvarks. I think they're going to have a very tough go at it on this final map coming ahead.
I mean, they only used 1 barbed wire this round, so they still have the 2 there. And I'm pretty sure they have an Igmar in stock. So we'll see if that comes into use here. But other than that, that was a perfect pinch from DLS at the end round. They were not expecting Enigmatic to push in there while Korgs pushed from the north side of Bathroom. And that just was, hey, they wanted to take a 2v1 Aardvarks. And they did DLS did a perfect pinch to counter the play that was happening from Aardvarks with those double peaks and with those 2v1s that they had with the buddy system there. We almost saw the auto shoddy push a lot there, but luckily 2 shotguns just immediately blasting it away, blasting it out of the round. So DLS has now put this to match point, but it is still series point for Aardvarks. So if DLS wants to see this in the 3rd map, they're going to have to close it out now.
Yeah, definitely. It's win or go home still for DLS at this point. There's still a second chance here for Aardvarks. Even if they lose this set, there's still that 3rd set ahead. They definitely don't have to panic just yet, but I would say that key gameplay and just crisp, concise comms are the most important thing for DLS to factor in right now. They need to be on their game because this is not an easy map, if we have seen. So there's still going to be that long-range fire potential coming in from Aardvarks. They have the mops in play. They're going to have the Igmars and all that. So
looks like Cloud just had a crash possibly on the side of DLS. It's not opportune timing, but I guess a little bit of karma may have just come around. I'm not sure. 4 members now, I guess, for DLS, and we'll have to see if they can take this push with 4, as Aardvarks know how they take it, and it looks like Busquick is paying their respects. They have F in the chat now, but Aardvarks now with the advantage. It looks like they're going to be holding these angles that DLS pushed in rounds prior, so they're ready for it, and they've shut it down once. Who says they can't shut it down twice? I mean, Aardvarks with an interesting barbed wire idea in Toxic, but I think it's the right call because it does seem like DLS wants to go for that double smoke and immediately take power to try to get the advantage back. But as the round starts here, we'll see a little bit more presence on the right side of the map than expected. We do see a player lurking storage, though. We'll see if a shotgun on the side of Aardvarks can do anything here.
Yep, so here comes the round, starting off. Pretty standard setup here, I would say, other than the fact that you do have a man down already on the side of DLS with Cloud. Cloud is moving now, so they do have that person back in the server. So that's very good news for them. Bottom side setup. 3 members ready to push in there into storage. It's going to be Lone Wolf taking this fight early, and Lone Wolf getting flashed out, Pin taken down. That's exactly what they need, but now Enigmatic going to pick that fight with a Saber. Got to be very careful here. You don't want to lose that weapon anytime soon. Korgs and Joe moving in to take control of power. And there it goes. Light switches off. We'll see those flares getting popped. Korgs now already into the top side. I wonder if Aardvarks know that she's made her way up there. This could come into play here. Taking an angle peek over the top of those 2 forklifts there. Shots ringing out on the Joe. Joe just going to back up, and there goes Warming being taken down. Rita just spamming shots there with the Igmar. That's going to be a big factor there if that thing starts coming into play. Real Elsewhere just kind of pinned in the corner with the mop, though. Not done too much so far. Korgs and Joe on the top. We're going to see Enigmatic and Cloud pushing in. They're going to take control of Office here. It's going to be Lord of Poop there. Oh, 2 kills coming out in quick succession. Joe and Korgs down on the top side. Saber rings out a kill, though, in return. Busquick and Enigmatic going to have their little duel here, possibly. Oh, and there goes the mop shot miss. Real Elsewhere, though, comes around the corner, gets a frag on the Real Elsewhere. It's now down on the Cloud. Cloud's got to win this with the auto shotty, facing down 2 members. Making his way around very carefully. Shot rings out. Low health right now for Cloud, almost 0 HP. Oh no! The team kill comes out from Busquick. That's not what you want to see in a time like this, and they trade frags!
They trade!
Oh, just a matter of milliseconds. If Cloud clicks just a fraction of a second earlier, we'll get the kill and the defuse to send them on the map number 3. But no, it's not to be. Aardvarks come through.
Heartbreaking. That is heartbreaking for DLS. They had the perfect round. Yes, they had lower health, but they still had the man advantage. They were rotating people in and out like we've seen some of the top tier teams do. But Aardvarks, they just threw 1 body at a time. And because they had the chip damage, their last players were able to just clean it up. And the trade there, like you said, a matter of milliseconds. Heartbreaking for DLC. 2-0 for Aardvarks. And I am feeling the adrenaline from that last trade kill. I mean, Aardvarks must be excited to all hell right now because they have just secured their spot on the standings for this season.
Yeah, and I mean, you basically do the math in your head. They clicked within 1/60th of a second of one another for that to happen, essentially. And you realize if the defending player gets it off just a little bit earlier, it doesn't matter. They still win the round. But if that attacker gets the kill off just ahead of them, he gets the defuse, he gets the whole set win. We go to set 3, but it wasn't to be. So, I mean, you want to talk about down to the wire. That's it. A 4v4, or I'm sorry, 4-4 score line, and you trade kills at the end. That it doesn't get any closer than that ever.
Yeah, we haven't even seen that in some of the highest tier games so far in this league. And both teams must be feeling mixed emotions right now. Obviously, Aardvarks and DLS have both had a rough season so far, but DLS, I guarantee you, they really wanted to secure a standing above Aardvarks, even though Aardvarks was kind of more on the side of fan favorites here, it must be a rush for Aardvarks, considering they did just 2-0 DLS, as they're going to win their first and last match for this season. But I really just want to know what they're thinking right now, and we might be getting into an interview here in just a moment. We'll find out. But any post-match notes on that, Byakko?
I mean, again, as we said, these teams both came in 0-3, and I'll say it again, that's not to say anything bad about them. We saw great gameplay, as great of gameplay as we've seen from any of the top teams through the league so far. And again, exciting ending as can be. Just unfortunate for DLS that they couldn't, pull off that last second win there. But that's, the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. But, next season, we're going to see these teams. We're going to see them improved in many ways, hopefully, especially as the game itself improves. There's some people that, we know we're playing with 30 FPS, and they're going to become a force to be reckoned with as soon as, all that gets squared away. But for now, I think we will hopefully be getting an interview, like we said, with one member of Aardvarks. Just waiting for them to finish their revelries and popping champagne and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, but we've had some teams definitely pop champagne early here, as we're still figuring out that finals and grouping stage. So we'll see what we can get out of Aric and what they're thinking right now. I may just personally go talk to DLS and see how they're feeling after this match, because a lot of these teams have worked really hard and they've been cut short. And I want to know how these teams are going to be improving for next season, because obviously this season was kind of working out the kinks and such. So I want to know from every team just kind of what their plan is coming into the next season if they are invited. So we do have Busquick here from Aardvarks. So Busquick, if you'd like to introduce yourself to the crowd right now.
Yeah, hi. I'm Busquick. I was a team captain for the Aric Aardvarks for this season. It was certainly a great time being able to play with these guys. Had a lot of fun times, getting a lot better at the game. A lot of our members were very new to everything, and we were certainly an underdog team, I think. But it was fun to make waves this season.
Yeah, you were one of the fan favorites. Everybody loves you, even if you didn't pull out performance until the very end. Now, I want to ask you, especially that last round, how much adrenaline did you guys have when you saw the trade and the win screen came up? How did that feel?
There was a whirlwind of emotions in me at that moment, mostly, and this is certainly an echo from, I think, the first interview that I ever did, and the main thought in my head was, Jesus Christ, I've ruined it. It was certainly a relief to see your team won on the ending screen, because frankly, like, those last 5 seconds were a total blur and it could have gone either way. And I was just like, oh, thank God.
Yeah, other than that, what did you guys do to come into this? What did you prepare for specifically? Did you, say, study DarkLight Studios, or did you just practice your coordination, your utility? What did you guys do pre-game to prepare?
Certainly more of the latter. Recently, we looked at our game against SPG, actually. That was a very good game for us. Our first kind of close encounter in the league. So we decided that would be a very good opportunity to take a look at what we're doing right, and what we're doing wrong, and what we could do to kind of push us to the next level, put us over the edge, and give us some awareness on kind of some habits that we've developed. Mostly communication, working on our rotations, being sure that we respond to each other as a team and adapt to any situation. So it's kind of more looking intrinsically, looking at ourselves and seeing what we could do to be better.
Yeah, and I'm glad to hear that, because I always want to see these teams improving and coming back stronger in the next season. Byakko, do you have any questions for Busquick?
Not too much. I mean, just you guys had really good gameplay this time around, and we've seen how well you've improved over the course of the season. Like you said, you had. Like you said, we noticed that you guys had new players to the game, came in on the inaugural season. You didn't have the experience that some of the kind of alpha players had on the, we'll call it season 0 in a sense. And he really picked up a lot over the course of the past few weeks. So congratulations on that win. And I hope to see you guys keep improving as time goes on.
Oh, certainly. We have no plans to stall out. It is only up from here for us. We plan on putting the nose to the grindstone in the off season and catching up, making up for lost time, and hopefully catching up to those more experienced teams.
That's great to hear. And Byakko, if you don't have any more questions, or Busquick, if you don't have anything to say to the fans, I'm assuming you do. We'll wrap this up in just a moment. But on that note, Busquick, do you have anything to say to your supporters out there? Because you were one of the fan favorite teams this season going in.
I do. We certainly feel the love. I know we're not the most conventional team, but we appreciate all the support we've given. I had a lot of DMs, a lot of people in my DMs going into this game like, yo, we believe in y'all. So we definitely appreciate the faith that you put into us. We appreciate the pogs in chat. And most of all, Aardvark Nation, baby, eat ant. Woo! That's all I got. Thanks, y'all.
I mean, other than that, Byakko, do you have anything else to say to Busquick before we wrap this up?
No, that's all. Thank you very much for that exciting interview.
But
Likewise, y'all.
Congratulations on the win. Your team definitely pulled it out of the bag there. You guys deserved it. And with that, I'm thinking we're gonna wrap it up here today, everybody. That was our Monday match. A little bit off the weekend, but definitely exciting one to say the least. That was Aardvarks versus DLS. We saw 2-0 fashion for Aric Aardvarks, but a very close match at the second one. We saw Trade come out in the final round, and like Busquick said, it was a flurry of emotions. And if Byakko, if you don't have anything else to say, I think we'll end it here and raid a streamer.
Yeah, just as a reminder, playoffs are being finalized at this time. They'll be announced very, very soon. Stay tuned to the Due Process League Discord for more information. And if you haven't joined the Due Process League Discord, links to it are in Due Process Official, and I believe also on our Twitch page here. So come on in, join, consider getting the team ready, because once playoffs are finished, we'll be jumping hopefully pretty quickly into season number 2. And so far, we've got about 30 teams looking to join up. Don't be afraid to be one of them. I mean, we love more teams, and we're going to get that all organized and set up and ready to go, bigger and better in the near future.
All right. Other than that, you heard Byakko. Join our Discord for the updates. We'll figure out the playoff stage here. And ladies and gentlemen, that was Aric Aardvarks versus DarkLight Studios. Aric taking it 2-0. And we're going to wrap it up here in the studio. And I just want to thank you all for watching. Thanks for sticking with us. And we will see you soon enough for those playoffs. Stay safe and take care, everybody.